The average 53-year-old American man currently earns more money than ever before, yet he has a median retirement savings of exactly $53,000. Despite this math, he feels completely secure. He owns a home, takes family vacations, and holds a title at work that signals achievement. The damage happening to his financial future doesn't look like damage at all. It looks exactly like the reward for 25 years of hard work. Since his 20s, almost every financial choice he's made has passed a single, seemingly responsible test. Does the monthly payment clear the checking account? By his 50s, those isolated, affordable decisions have stacked on top of each other to form the fixed obligation stack. This is a rigid chain of continuous monthly commitments: the mortgages, the car leases, the club dues, and the tuition payments. Equating the ability to cover monthly cash flow with actual wealth building is a trap. It turns a man's peak earning decade into his most vulnerable window, silently cannibalizing his future while everything appears perfectly fine. Take a regional director named Richard. He brings in $190,000 a year, far more than he ever thought he'd make. But look at this chart showing Richard's monthly cash flow. Before he buys a single grocery, his fixed income ceiling is rapidly filled by rigid blocks: $4,200 for the mortgage, $750 for a car lease, plus club memberships and private school tuition. His fixed monthly floor sits at $12,500. Maintaining this prestige footprint carries a hidden approval tax, the silent compound cost of a status signaling lifestyle. As we add this final block for his routine daily spending, his obligations actually breach his take-home pay ceiling, putting him in a monthly deficit. Richard's problem isn't his salary. His lifestyle expanded to match his income every single time he got a raise. His monthly burn rate has outpaced his savings rate for 15 straight years. A high salary provides exactly zero protection when a massive, inflexible burn rate eliminates your ability to adapt to changes in your environment. Even if you manage to save a portion of your income, there are structural drains quietly pulling money out of your portfolio over time. This graph plots portfolio growth over 15 years, comparing a standard 1.2% wealth management fee against a comparable index fund charging 3 basis points. The math is brutal. Over time, that tiny percentage difference silently siphons away roughly $180,000. Then there is the threat of sequence of returns risk, the timing of how your investments behave right as you retire. Watch what happens to the projection when we simulate a 35% market drop during year 1 of retirement. Withdrawing living expenses while the market is down means you are selling off shares at a steep discount. As the market line finally recovers on the chart, the total portfolio value stays permanently stunted, crippled by those early, necessary withdrawals. Basing a retirement plan on a flat, average market return ignores reality. The specific order of those returns, combined with who takes a fee from them, dictates whether your money actually lasts. A rigid financial foundation will inevitably crack when hit by the unmodeled life events typical of a man's 50s. Let's look at Gary, who is facing 3 crises simultaneously. First, his mother needs memory care, which averages $5,000 to $7,000 a month. Medicare, the federal health insurance program for seniors, does not cover long-term assisted living, leaving Gary to cover the gap entirely out of pocket. Second, he is funding his adult children's college education. That is a massive post-tax expense that frequently requires individuals to halt their own retirement contributions right in their prime compounding years. Third is gray divorce, separating after age 50. Dividing assets at 53 is legally taxing, and it results in an average net worth loss of 77% for men. Standard financial models typically optimize for single variables, like taxes or asset allocation in isolation. They are rarely designed to simulate 6 concurrent cash demands hitting a portfolio at once, meaning the very plans meant to protect you remain blind to the collision. 2 men with identical high incomes can face drastically different outcomes based on their burn rates. The one who maintains a massive fixed overhead works until he's 68 to fund his past. The one who minimizes his footprint secures over $1 million in early options. Gary survived his concurrent crises by painfully restructuring. He moved to a smaller apartment, slashed his fixed obligations in half, and moved his remaining wealth to low-fee funds. To protect yourself, calculate your absolute fixed monthly floor this week. Add up the mortgages, the tuition, and the subscriptions, and actively eliminate at least one structural obligation. Next, stress test your portfolio against an early market crash and audit your investment fees to ensure they sit below 0.3%. Relying purely on linear projections or standard safety nets like the Social Security Administration will leave you exposed. Reaching 60 with real wealth depends less on the total size of a career's earnings and more on a man's ability to reclassify his achievements as liabilities. Success in your 50s requires cutting the anchor before the tide rises.